Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Akim, that's out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going out on the streets teaching and preaching, also by way of the internet. This is your brother Nayap, and I'm back with another news update. So we gonna get into it. But before I start these videos, first I'd like to say that these videos are not for any type of monetary gain, for for anything like that. It's for fair use purposes, fair use, and educational purposes only. And I'm doing like two things at once, so give me like a second. I'm in the middle of a lesson. Let me turn this volume up. So we got quite a few videos again. Y'all already know, so yeah. So I'm trying to see where I want to go to first. Let me see. I'm just trying to see something, y'all. Okay. All of the presidents of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. Thank you for being part of the resistance. Thank you for staying in the dark.
Two men can be a family and they can adopt kids, which I think is problematic. Two women can be a family, they can adopt kids. Marriage doesn't mean anything anymore.
What threat is that to you if those two men love each other?
Because you can point statistically to our society being eroded from within because two men automatically create an unstable household because that is not God's design for a family.
And you think that hurts America?
Absolutely.
For the first time in modern American history, more young men than women are claiming religious affiliation, a gender gap of 7%, while men under 30 who lean Republican have also outpaced Democrats for the first time in more than a decade. Here at the Faith Forward Pastor Summit in Gainesville, Georgia, hosted by an arm of the conservative activist group Turning Point USA, the call for young conservative men.
We're called to be biblical and we're called to be political.
Is finding a bigger audience than ever before.
I just want to pause it. Only the Israelites are called, and they elect at that.
Are you seeing more young men, Gen Z, come into the church?
Yeah, we are. It's very intentional. And I think the messaging from the administration was very intentional.
The Trump administration?
Yeah, it was to win those kind of people.
Who?
And the young people, the men who want to be men.
If you fear culture, then you don't fear God.
Men who want to, or can be convinced to, return to what he calls traditional values.
I think wokeness, is really anything that comes against God's design. It's this progressive mentality. Wokeness is like DEI. Wokeness is...
You think that's against God?
Yes, 100%.
How so?
Well, I mean, it is everything it claims to be against. DEI is discriminatory. It is racist. DEI says, what's your skin color and who do you sleep with? You're getting to the front of the line.
Can I push back on that?
Please.
My interpretation of DEI and affirmative action is essentially saying, not that you must promote me because I'm black, but you are not allowed to discriminate against me.
But that's already a part of our Constitution, already a part of our laws. DEI has been used to push people to the front of the line who don't belong there.
If someone calls some points and says that's a DEI hire,
I think that's wrong too.
do you think they're pointing at you or do you think they're pointing at me?
I don't know. I'll tell you what though, I think it's wrong to make a snap judgment. That is not godly.
Because it assumes that the only people who can have good things are straight white men.
Exactly. And that's a problem.
Are the young men who support LGBTQ rights or believe in DEI, are they welcome here?
They're welcome. They might not want to come back.
A sentiment that's echoed in recent polling. 67% of the country says homosexuality should be accepted, but less than half of young Christian men agree, creating a dramatic split with their Christian female peers, one that experts say could have an impact for decades to come.
See? you got on this video.
Two men can be a family, and they.
You got. Oh man, you have so-called white people going against so-called white people. They're actually going against each other. All right, because this is controlled by both parties are both Edomites. They control everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and then with that, they just get Jake and throw him in the mix. And with these what you call them, man? I'm trying to think of a term. These transformers. You know, you throw them all in a bunch, and then this is what you get. You get madness. You know, a lot of young men don't want to date. You know what I'm saying? And now they're even becoming homosexuals. This place has to go. Let's go to the next video.
So let me ask you a question. How do you feel about riding on a robot horse? Well, recently, the Japanese manufacturer Kawasaki recently revealed its latest concept called Corleo, which is a four-legged robot that's powered by hydrogen and equipped with artificial intelligence. And it's designed to be ridden like a horse, like the Riders of Rohan, if the Riders of Rohan were in, like, Cyberpunk. Now, they showcased this prototype at the Osaka Kansai Expo in 2025, which got a lot of attention and definitely generated a lot of buzz online. Now, obviously, this is still just a concept, and the video that you're watching was all computer generated. It's not actual video recording. According to Kawasaki, the Corleo is designed to operate on rough and varied terrain. As you can see, the machine walks on 4 separate independent robotic legs, which allows it to move with balance and have stability across different surfaces of varying types. Now, according to Kawasaki, the Corleo is going to be powered by a hydrogen engine, which the company confirmed is going to be a 150cc hydrogen motor that generates electricity in order to drive the robot's legs. It's also been described as an off-road mobility platform that uses clean energy to reduce environmental impact while also enabling a user to maneuver around in difficult terrain. Additionally, Kawasaki said that the Corleo does not use traditional control methods. Instead, it reacts to the rider's physical body movements, adjusting its steps when the rider shifts their center of gravity. Kind of like the way that a horse would react when you shift your center of gravity. It's going to have built-in rubber hoofs that help grip surfaces, and apparently it's going to be capable of jumping over obstacles. Now, just as like a caveat, the company said that this concept is not supposed to be potentially released on the market until 2050, but it is really cool, and I would like one. Here's a live look at Boston, Massachusetts now as we check back in on one of our top stories, anti-Trump protests taking place across the country today after a tumultuous week, to say the least.
Next in line. Please don't hate me for this. Please don't hate me for what I'm about to say. Hear me out, please. He's our president. And he's stroking that pen, doing all these executive orders. You got to be kidding me. You got to be. Look at here. Yeah. Bring that on down here. What's up? Some of your rental property. Some of my rental property. This ain't no rental property. This is my private residence, man. This is my private residence, man. This ain't in the house under new construction, man. This is my private residence.
So he's just domestic.
Oh, this for my wife? This for my private residence, man. This ain't no rental property. You want to sign or no? Why did they send you? I don't know. He just had me come deliver it. I don't know. Why would you? This is my private residence, man. This is my private residence. That's not no nuisance, man. You see the property.
You already know the city trying their hardest to get you out of here. You already know that.
I didn't know it. They just sent me out here to deliver it to you.
Yeah. You know the city is doing.
It's not to take it. They just want you to come to court. I don't know why. They already been to court. It's already been to court. You don't read this stuff when you get it. They went to court on the 21st. Yeah, they went to court a couple times. Okay, how come I wasn't there? I'm supposed to be there. Well, that's why I'm making sure you got it, so you can be there now. I didn't know. This is the first time I got this package, though. Have a good day. I'm not trying to be funny, and we didn't plan this. But you see what we just got. We just got officially served. And you heard it out of his own mouth. He said they've been to court a couple times. And I've never been there.
Bond, the more risky it becomes. A lot of investors are told, retail investors are told, that they should have a certain percent of their portfolio in bonds. Maybe they're told 60-40, maybe they're told 70-30 stocks to bonds. That's something that you should do, and that's the safe way of doing it. What are they missing? Some people should not own stocks at all because they just get too upset with price fluctuations. If you're going to do dumb things because your stock goes down, you shouldn't own a stock at all. No, I mean, what are dumb things? Selling a stock? Yeah, selling a stock because it goes down. I mean, if you buy your house at $20,000 and somebody comes along the next day and says, I'll pay you $15,000, you don't sell it because the quote's $15,000. You look at the house or whatever it may be. But some people are not actually emotionally or psychologically fit to own stocks, but I think more of them would be if you get educated on what you're really buying, which is part of a business. And the longer you hold stocks, the less risky they become, whereas the longer the maturity of a bond, the more risky it becomes. A lot of investors are told, retail investors are told, that they should have a certain percent of their portfolio in bonds. Maybe they're told 60-40, maybe they're told 70-30 stocks to bonds. That's something that you should do, and that's the safe way of doing it. What are they missing? Some people should not own stocks at all because they just get too upset with price fluctuations. Bond, the more...
Those nurses worked on the 5th floor maternity unit right here at Newton Wellesley Hospital. Now that hospital, as well as the Massachusetts Nurses Association, is investigating. Growing concerns for nurses at Mass General Brigham Newton Wellesley Hospital in Newton. This after the hospital says multiple staff reported having brain tumors, all who worked on the 5th floor maternity unit. According to a spokesperson, they have been investigating in collaboration with the Department of Occupational Health and Safety and have interviewed 11 staff members as of April 1st. 5 of them had brain tumors, all of which were benign, while 6 were determined to not have brain tumors, but rather other health concerns. The hospital says every staff member who came forward was given the opportunity to be interviewed to evaluate each diagnosis in the context of their individual medical history and risk factors. In a statement, they said in part that this was all to evaluate for any possible environmental exposures in that area of the hospital, adding that comprehensive environmental assessments following CDC guidelines began in December, and that the investigation found no environmental risks which could be linked to the development of a brain tumor. But the Massachusetts Nurses Association tells us the hospital's environmental testing was not comprehensive, saying they've received more than 300 responses from people who work at Newton Wellesley, and now they are working to contact those who want a direct follow-up and obtain their medical records.
What type of bullshit is this? iPhones manufactured in the U.S. might cost as much as $3,500 because of tariffs. Who paying $3,500 for a brand new iPhone? Because it surely ain't the fuck me. And if I buy this phone, it better come with Alexa, Siri. That bitch better transform into the magic school bus with Miss Frizzle on it, because that is ridiculous. Who's buying these? The 1%? The NBA players, the NFL players, the scammers, the rappers? Because that's the only people I see that can afford this shit. The brand new iPhones are already a band plus, and you want to add on 2 more? I'm not not quite sure what y'all done did to piss these other countries off, but y'all need to get y'all's fucking act together fast. Because I also heard that the Nintendo Switch 2 was available for pre-order April 9th, but because of these tariffs, they didn't delay that now. If this is the state of the economy and the world is headed in this direction, we are all fucking cooked. And like I said, I don't know what y'all got going on over there, the beef, the smoke, the animosity, I don't know what's up, but somebody needs to apologize and get this shit back on track ASAP.
I have to remind him to be rough.
What type of...
What is your full body count? Or do you count like one by one, or is it easy to like take multiples of tens or hundreds?
It's hitting close to 2,000.
In the span of like how many years?
A year and a half ago. It's been very busy.
Could you name them all?
Oh, definitely not. No, like the day after I've forgotten. I have to remind him to be rough with me. Like, they are too polite to me. I'm like, spit on me, make me your dumpster. Like, use my holes, drag me around. Like, I want that.
You're stressing me out.
I think that's turning you on.
No, this is stressing me out.
It's a crazy world.
This is wild. A toddler in the UK was banned from daycare for being transphobic. According to data from the British Department of Education obtained by The Telegraph, in 2023, a 3 or 4-year-old was suspended for abuse against sexual orientation and gender identity. Now, it doesn't specify whether this alleged abuse was against another 3 or 4-year-old or an adult, but I don't think it makes much of a difference. Now, that child was actually not the only one. At least 94 other pupils at state primary schools were suspended for homophobia or transphobia during the same time period. Of these, 10 were from year 1 and 3 were from year 2, meaning the maximum possible age of those pupils is 7, and one of them was apparently nursery age. The Department of Education defended its actions with a spokesperson saying all pupils and staff should feel safe and protected at schools and should never face violence or abuse. The question is, do you guys agree with their decisions or not?
67% of all of the injunctions in this century have come against which president? Donald J. Trump. Let me say that again. 60% of the injunctions by partisan activists in the judicial branch have come against President Donald Trump, and 92% of those have been from Democrat-appointed judges. This is a clear, concerted effort by leftists who don't like this president and are trying to impose or slow down his agenda. 67%.
In Washington, crowds descended on the National Mall, calling for lawmakers to rein in President Trump. The mass protest, dubbed the Hands-Off National Day of Action, was organized by advocacy groups that oppose the president's policies during his first term. Protesters railed against Mr. Trump's recent moves to lay off scores of federal workers, revoke protections for immigrants, and implement sweeping tariffs. But for Democratic leaders, the president's threat to democracy took center stage. The movement spread far beyond the nation's capital. From the sidewalks of South Bend to downtown Boston and New York City, demonstrators took to the streets in protests both big and small to oppose President Trump's agenda. That resistance echoed around the globe. In Germany, England, and Portugal, protesters flocked to public squares to show support and solidarity with Americans.
These protests cap a tumultuous week. Overnight, President Trump's 10% global tariffs went into effect, and in anticipation, stocks lost trillions of dollars in market value in just 2 days.
In Washington, crowds descended on the National Mall, calling for lawmakers to rein in.
The Trump administration cut a program yesterday that will literally leave millions of Americans in the cold because it's the federal program that provides heating and cooling to millions of Americans who are either low income or have no income. And he fired the entire staff that helps pay for low income households that pay for heat. One of the things that makes this country the best place in the world, what makes America one of the best countries in the entire world, is that we have had a federal program in place for decades that makes sure that not one American goes cold in the winter, not one American family goes without heat. It's called the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. And it is part of the Department of Health and Human Services, and their staff has been completely cut. Now, this program cost $4.1 billion to give heat to 6 million Americans across the country. Every town you live in, every state has social programs that provide heat and energy cost to low-income families and low-income individuals. And cutting these staff will ensure that millions of Americans go without heat and energy during the summer and during the winter. Trump administration is literally leaving millions of Americans out in the cold. This is how much he cares about the most vulnerable Americans.
One Trump voter said, "It's no secret I voted for Trump, but I didn't vote for a global trade war. He better fix this strife immediately if Republicans want a chance to keep the House or Senate. 71 million Americans have a 401k. We are the world's largest consumers." He then says, "I believe this is a huge miscalculation." Another person said, "I voted for you, Mr. President. I carried so much water for you and convinced my wife and kids who did not want to vote for you. You are standing idly by as the market crashes." Hey, excuse me, Trump's not standing idly by. He's walking around the golf course right now as the market crashes. They said, "I lost more than 100K in 2 days. Do something. I'm regretting my vote, sir." What about this one? "I am down 400K in the market since Trump took office, with about a third of that today. I may really like a lot of his policies, immigration being the biggest one, but he's costing me a lot of money." This one said, "These tariffs are going to destroy his entire agenda. They are going to make people hate him. Personally, if this continues, I will be voting blue in the midterms." It is kind of shitty to promise lower prices on day one and then spend the first few months doing exactly the opposite. Basically, inflation on steroids because of Trump.
This is a real clip of a future Prime Minister of Israel. Take a listen.
My Israel has arranged instruction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
So casual. We're just like training editors to go in there and to make sure that things are Zionist.
Israel's fake. Israel is the front lines of the U.S. military-industrial complex. These are arbitrary borders that were just placed in the middle of the Middle East in 1948. May 14th, Israel is a country. Why Israel? Why are we going to call it Israel? Because normie Christians of the scope...
Man, what the fuck? I've just woke up and I'm getting this. Prepare for Putin now. Can I have a fucking coffee first? I don't think even the press have had their coffee yet, because they're saying Putin is plotting to sabotage the gas pipelines and cause mass blackouts. I think Rodney is planning all of this. And trust me, if there's a blackout, a mass blackout, I'm going to them motherfucking shops without my bank card. You can believe that shit. I mean, look at the shit they're telling us to prepare. Get some fucking baked beans. Bruv. Battery-powered radio. What, so we can fucking listen to some drum and bass as the missiles are flying, yeah? Swiss Army knife, get a knife, yeah, lovely, get pulled over, get 5 years in prison, no questions asked, yeah, nice one, Rodney. And a fucking passport. A passport, what? You're gonna send me to the Bahamas in case there's a fucking blackout in Feltham? Seriously, you guys, who do you see as more as a threat? Do you see Putin as the threat, or this man, Rodney? I'll tell you fucking what, I better rush to the fucking kitchen, get my coffee, just in case there's a fucking mass blackout and the kettle don't work anymore. For fuck's sake.
This week, New York State bans laundry detergents Arm & Hammer, Tide, and Gain for recently testing above the new legal limit for a probable carcinogen called 1,4-dioxane. The CDC states that it can be harmful to the eyes, skin, lungs, kidneys, and can even cause cancer.
Now, the thing is, the synthetic chemical is still in laundry detergent, but the ones that were banned tested above the new legal limit. In doing this research, I found terrifying information that this chemical is found in the tap water in 45 states across the nation, affecting over 90 million Americans. The California Department of Toxic Substances said it is concerned about the potential adverse impacts on Californians from exposure, especially children. This contamination is due to runoffs from solvent production, industrial spills, and discharges from municipal wastewater plants. No federal maximum limit for drinking water has been established, which is frightening because not only are we wearing these chemicals, we are ingesting them.
With that, Lord willing, that was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.